Hey y'all. Let me see who joins my live. I want to share with y'all the power of the energy that you invite into your space. So I have a testimonial that I want to share with y'all. I haven't said anything for a while, so now I'm willing to share because I wanted to be sure. So let's see who joins first. So I need to tell y'all the power of the energy that you invite into your space and what that means, because I've had a testimonial that I want to share, and I haven't said anything because I wanted to be sure that what I was thinking is correct, but it's correct. So I got two people, so I'm gonna go ahead and start sharing. So for those who don't know, my husband and I went to South Africa the beginning of March. Dope trip, amazing time, great people, great energy, had a good time. So we ended up going to this little shop. Like we went to we didn't go to like the commercialized shops. We went to this one street that had like the lower end people or establishments, and we brought 2 paintings home. We bring home the paintings. It's all good. It's to get it home. They wrapped it up in newspaper and taped it at the ends. And then once we got home, the pandemic hit. So we couldn't go to like a Hobby Lobby to get it framed. So we just threw it in our office. No big deal. Hey, Trini. So starting April, probably the beginning of April, I started to have nightmares. Now, I've never had nightmares in my life. Hey, Auntie Denise. I've never had nightmares in my life. And so when I say nightmares, it is of spiders. And I am petrified of spiders. And the nightmares were always about spiders. And it was to the point where I am out of my bed, running out of my room, screaming at the top of my lungs. Pretty freaking like traumatic, if you would say so. Like, and it was at least 3 days a week. I'm having these stupid nightmares, and I can't really attribute why I'm having these nightmares. So again, the point of this conversation is power of the energy that you keep in your space. So fast forward to May, I ended up going to Phoenix the end of May to help my mom and take care of my grandma. While I'm in Phoenix, no nightmares. I get back home, the nightmares start immediately. And so mind you, when I'm having these nightmares, I am running for dear life, running into things. Like at one point I had this stupid, like huge, like issue, like a bruise on my arm, which I'll post the bruise soon. But so I'm just having these nightmares and I can't figure out why. And I'm like, what is going on with nightmares? To the point where I was scared to go to sleep. I'm having anxiety. I'm staying up for days because I'm scared to close my eyes. It was like a hot mess. And so my mom finally says to me, what did you bring back from South Africa? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? She's like, you brought something back from South Africa. And you realize that different cultures believe in spiritisms. And I'm like, no, I get that. That's why I never bring home statues from other places. But I never thought about paintings. And I'm like, but we came back from South Africa like the beginning of March, and my nightmares, or the middle of March, and my nightmares started the beginning of April. So I don't think it's a relation. And she's like, well, what changed in April that relates back to whatever you brought back from South Africa? And so prior to me realizing that we were going to work from home for a while for my job, I would work at the kitchen table, on the couch, whatever. Then when I realized we was going to work permanently from home, I started to work in the office. Well, the paintings that we brought back from South Africa was in the office. When we came back from South Africa, the paintings was wrapped in newspaper and then taped. But because we came back, it was the middle of a pandemic, things started to shut down. We never got a chance to film them, frame them. So they were just on the floor in the office. And so I'm like, I don't know, Ma. I don't know if them paintings got anything to do with it. And again, for y'all joining, I'm just talking to y'all about the power of the energy that you keep in your circle. So my mom was like, get them paintings out of your house. And I'm like, Mama, that's $150 that I spent on them paintings. I don't know if I want to take them paintings out of the house. I didn't pay money for them paintings. And she was like, just try it. Get the paintings out of your house and see if the nightmares will go away. So I don't even remember the date at this point now, but it's been probably like a month and a half. I know, right, Trini? Don't question your mama. So Tony has a storage unit that he keeps an engine in that he just keeps. So she's like, hey, Monica. So she's like, just go have Tony take the paintings, put it in that storage unit and see what happens. So for y'all just joining, I'm talking to you about the power of the negative energy in your space. We brought back paintings from South Africa, And then a month after we brought back those paintings, I started to have like violent nightmares, like pull me out of my sleep, running for dear life out of my room, screaming at the top of my lungs, running into things. I got bruises all over my body. People think my husband beat me. And I'm like, I promise you, it's the nightmares. It's not him. Because if it was that, he would have a bruise and we would both be beat up. Anyways, I digress. So I take the paintings, put them in Tony's storage unit, and that has probably been about a month and a half. And I did it on the last nightmare I had was like on a Wednesday. He moved them into Wednesday morning. I had the nightmare. Wednesday, by the time he got out of work, he went and took them paintings and put them in our storage unit. And ever since then, I have not had zero nightmare. Do you hear me? Zero nightmares. So I know some of y'all thinking, coincidence. I don't care if it's a coincidence, but what I am going to do is burn them paintings. What I don't want to do is give that energy to anybody else to have the nightmares, but it is something about the energy and the negative energy that you keep in your space. And for whatever, sorry y'all, my mama just tried to call me. She must knew I was talking about her. The energy from those paintings was causing me nightmares. The spiritism that was put on those paintings was causing me nightmares. So y'all just be mindful of the energy that you put into your space, because it could have a negative impact on the way you vibe and the way you feel, hey Kalani, and the way things go. So needless to say, I have not been to that storage. I don't plan to go to that storage. I'm going to send Tony over to that storage and we're going to burn those paintings. And that's just $150 that I lost, because at this point, I'm not willing to try the test to bring them back in my house and figure out what happens from there. So y'all, remember, the energy that you keep in your space is important. If it don't feel right, if it don't seem right, if the person ain't vibing the way you want them to vibe, guess what? You have the choice to choose to put them in your space and put them in your energy. And I have been big on energy for like the last 2 years. I'm a giving person, and I'm like, I got your back. I'm always going to be there. If you need me, you call me at 2 a.m. I'm always going to answer the phone. But what I've realized is you can't keep giving of yourself to energy that is not returned. And so that is what I've started to learn in the last couple of years, that only give your energy to those who fill your tank back up. And them paintings from South Africa, they're going to stay in that storage, and I'm going to burn them things right on up, because energy is important. So if you hanging with somebody, I don't care if you've been vibing with them for 15, 20 years. If they energy ain't right, it ain't sitting right in your spirit, when they around, it just feel like it's something that always go wrong, or they always negative, or they draining. I'm going to tell y'all, this is an exercise that I do every single time my phone ring. My phone ring, I look at the phone. Who calling me? How much energy is this phone call going to take? Is it somebody who is going to be reciprocal of what I have to share? Like, is it one of them phone calls that is all about them and you sit on the phone like this the whole time and you don't get one word in? I stop answering them phone calls. And I only answer those phone calls when I have the energy to spare to give you the time and the energy. Demonic. You right, Box. Straight demonic. So be careful what you bring into your home. Be careful what you look at on TV. Be careful that energy that you allow into your space, because that energy I allowed to my space, thinking that it was something simple and innocent as a picture that I brought back from South Africa, absolutely killed my whole vibe. Had me running around here thinking that I was loco, okay? And that people thought that Tony was beating me because I had bruises from running into stuff as I was running for dear life out of my bed and out of my room. So I just wanted to share that testimony with y'all real quick. Be careful of the energy and that vibe y'all bring in your house, and also be careful of the things that you bring into your house, because you just never know what happened with it before it became yours. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Be dope. Have a good day.